Welcome to Biztech's Enterprise Technology Show, where we feature companies and solutions to help you manage your businesses better. Now, on today's Enterprise Technology Show, we feature OpenMinds, a digital marketing technology firm. Now, to tell us more about OpenMinds is Wong, the founder of OpenMinds, and Jeffery, the co-founder and technology director. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us, Brian.
Can you give us an overview of what OpenMind does?
Sure. So OpenMinds is a marketing technology company that focuses in providing solutions in the area of data analytics, tech development, and also education. And we've been doing this for the past 9 years within the region, literally just helping companies undertake this entire digitization phase of their businesses.
Now, Jeffrey, could you tell us how you both of you started your business and your journey so far?
Basically, we know each other as a friend since the college day. So even during the college day, we already have some business idea and we are working projects together. So, many years back when we just started OpenMinds, we do have certain project that we want to run through together. Then after that, we realized the market basically requires certain services, for example, digital marketing. And we started to see there's an opportunity there. Then we decided to, okay, why not we all just come together and go, full time on this, working on OpenMinds.
You offer both services as well as products in marketing technology. Jan, could you share a little bit more details in terms of what your service offerings and product offerings are?
Sure. So as per the short introduction earlier, we focus very much in the consultancy bit of things. So what this means is that when clients come to us, we don't just go and showcase our products. We don't go there and tell you that, look, these are the A to Z that we sell. Pick one from the list and that's it. We don't do that. In fact, our consultancy arm comes in to first walk you through and conduct what we call a technology audit, in which consists of looking at 5 different pillars of your business. And from it, we'll be able to identify certain key gaps from your operations, from your people side of things, from your business, from your tech, all the way to the data side, to be able to help you piece together what makes sense for a business. And we purposely design it in such a way because we realize both businesses, whether big or small, tend to have the misconception that it's all about just finding the right product fit. It's not the case, because a best product fit may not necessarily be also the best business fit or the people fit within their organizations. So therefore, we design this framework to first and foremost help clients or businesses to understand what is the true requirement. We help them get to the root cause of what is impacting their business, capitalize on that, and then only suggest what needs to be done. And that's where our product comes in. So speaking of which as well, our product falls into a few categories. One, we tailor-make the product. So based on very specific use cases, very specific business context, we actually have the tech capabilities to fully deploy and make sure that that business need is met, that's fit into your current workflow. So it's not off the shelf. However, we do have a data analytics product called Roundup, which focuses in consolidating and integrating data sources. So I would imagine as a corporate company or an MNC company, you probably have different divisions. And in this case, different divisions have different data. Different countries may have different data sets, different ways of storing data, but reporting and making business decisions out of siloed information could be a huge challenge. That is why this product's main goal is to help businesses connect and make sense throughout all these data points throughout the business.
So guys, tell me, give us some examples of how some of your large enterprise customers, and I understand from the research that 80% of your customers are large enterprise customers. Give us some examples of how your customers use your products and services and some of the outcomes that have come as a result of engaging you.
Talking about that, one of our favorite client that we have over the past few years is the one that we helped a 100 years old automotive company to acquire data from customer group that was impossible to reach in the last century. So by simply helping them to connect a series of legacy systems and the structure into modern days tech, as simple as a loyalty program, and it is now running very successfully over 12 countries globally, including countries in Europe and South Asia. And it's currently handling globally millions of SKUs daily. The ability to access this data enable them to save millions yearly on marketing outreach and have better customer profiling. And it is used for internal business strategy decision. Yeah.
Can you help us understand a little bit more detail how that was actually done? What was actually done?
So basically, we have designed a technology specifically on how it things that's being implemented and product packaging. From there, through the product packaging, we have developed a mobile app that can basically trace all this product packaging, and we are able to track the entire supply chain. So from there, when we are able to track every single package as being sold from which customer to which customer, we are able to consolidate all this data from the back end, and we provide analytics and reporting to the customer. Yeah.
Can you tell us in terms of your offerings itself, you also have other divisions besides your consulting arm. Perhaps, Jen, you can tell us a little bit more about your other aspects of your business.
Sure. So we have two other subsidiaries that falls under the group of OpenMinds. One of it is Dry Funnels. They are a marketing performance specialist company. So in other words, what they do is that they literally do the last mile of marketing, where customers sometimes come to us and say, hey guys from OpenMinds, you have helped us deploy this wonderful MarTech solution. You've helped us get so far. Can you also help us take that additional step? We want to take this step to go to market. We want to get that reach. We want to basically hit critical mass. Will you be able to design a marketing funnel for us that works, since you already know our pain points? And that is where Dry Funnels comes in to fulfill that gap. Now, we have another group of customers that comes to us and say, hey, Jen, great work. What's next? I think you've brought us to a level, but we want to maintain some level of consistency within the organization. Can you help us achieve that? That is where our academy comes in with the name of Open Academy. We focus in educating both the corporates and also public through the experience that we have. So in other words, we are not just an academy built by academicians, people that just have theories, reading the books, self-proclaimed gurus, and just try to come and upsell certain programs to you. We don't do any of that. Instead, the trainers that come on board are real practitioners. The person that was developing the solution for you. Myself is one of the trainers there as well. Jeff as well, covering different areas, including other aspects that we also bring in from external speakers. And we design this to be extra practical, very relational. And usually when corporates tells us to speak to their team, we will tailor it based on their problems. So if they tell us that they're looking into areas where they want a little bit more of a data awareness within the team, then we'll cater a data awareness program specifically for that.
So in other words, so that's quite interesting, because one of the challenges with digitization or digital transformation is the fact that a lot of companies, the staff are just not ready. So they don't have the skill set even to evaluate what to do next. So I suppose the Open Academy could be the first step in upskilling your staff before you spend any money on digital transformation.
You are 100% spot on that, Brian. In fact, I would say more than half of our clients, when they first approach us, they usually start with this statement, like, what can we do right now? We are at this level, but the industry demand is at that level. What can we do? Can you help us? And they're very reluctant to invest into a full-fledged digital transformation program because they won't know where would this take them. And it doesn't help when you look around the world and you look at marketing reports or digitization reports, and they put out big numbers to say 3 out of 4 digitization projects fail. They're going to here and there holding on to the marketing dollars, and what should we do? So therefore, what we have is actually a readiness program, even within Open Academy, where we can actually go into just give you the preliminary education. We share a little bit of trends. We tell you what your competitors are doing. We tell you what can be done through an organization, big picture, small picture, short-term goals, long-term goals, so that teams start to have this awareness and discussions. And from there, then we can send our consultants to come in and say, okay, which are the ones you think you're ready for? Which are the things that you think you will be able to align to your business outcomes? And then from there, we do the audit and do all of these things.
Because that also helps them save money because there's less wasted money. It also helps them from an evaluation standpoint because they have at least enough information and knowledge to evaluate what the priorities are. And it also then helps them to evaluate which are the right vendors for them as well.
Exactly.
How do you charge for that? What is your business model? Is it generally a fee for service thing? Is this a face-to-face or is it a pure digital execution? Tell us more.
Yeah, so it's actually all the above, Brian, because it depends on the type of engagement that comes to us. So we have clients that come to us and they are on a retainer basis. So we sign a contract,
Okay.
Some of them as long up to 4 years even, to literally walk them through the entire digitization process from start to end, from nothing to deploying and to making sure the people is able to navigate and utilize it to what it's built for. So we have that kind of a service as well. But we also have clients that come to us and say, it's really just more on the education and preparation. They just want to know how ready they are to undertake digitization. They want some help in prioritization in their business, look at which area, what tech they should look into. So for that, is usually either from a project basis or a program that we design to them, sometimes up to 6 months, so they can speak to the different departments, to the different managers within the company, or even within the C-levels within the company, to really just help them position themselves better in terms of their resources, in terms of the mindset, in terms of the people aspect of things, so that they have a higher awareness of what they are going into. But we also have the third group that simply comes to us and say, we kind of know what we need already. So this is our specifications. Guys, can you fulfill them? So we only come in from an implementation bit, which is also existent in our current clientele.
One of the problems in Malaysia is the fact that boardrooms are not digitally savvy. Do you find that, and have companies come to you to equip their boards with sufficient knowledge to then make transformative decisions?
Love this question all the time. A little bit too often than I like, to be very honest. Now, I don't blame companies like that as well, because these are typically the legacy companies, right? These are companies that have been around, like Jeffery shared just now, an automotive company, 100 years of history based in Europe. They have been doing very well, huge margins, good business. But the only problem is time. Keeping up with technology, keeping up with what's happening in terms of trends is a challenge. And to be honest, sometimes even for us, things move a little bit too fast sometimes, You can go to sleep today, tomorrow you wake up, everything changes. Back then, this is not possible, but now it's possible. So what we like to do with the leadership team of the company is actually not to walk them through the tactical side of the MarTech, because the tactical side usually has a lot of nitty-gritty stuff. Like, we wouldn't go in and tell them about performance marketing, how you should create an email drip campaign, or how you should deploy AI and so on and so forth. But we usually go to them and talk to them from a business perspective, pinpoint perspective. Like, from their experience, what are the key pain points they are within the company? And we help them to literally just pick up bits and pieces to say, look, this area you've been doing it in 10 steps. This area has all this manual documentation. And we also ask them to actually state out their wishes. What is your wish? We don't like to say solution that you're looking for, because some of these guys, they don't understand that. So they're very practical, because that's how they got there and built this company, right? But when you talk about your imagination of how your company would run, you'll be very surprised that these CEOs, these CMOs would then start to say, oh, I wish that this report, right, can just come every time when I call for it. I wish that I'll be able to make a business decision just within 30 seconds on this screen. I don't know why my guys are taking, 1 week to produce something so simple. And all this imaginative business processes gets shared. And from there, we say, aha, did you know that it's actually possible today? And we share them the concept of how it's done. So the way we do it is like we like to connect the traditional wishes with actual emerging technology. And when they see that, that's where we see eyes sparkle. And that's exactly where our job is.
Okay, now, Jeffrey, I'm going to ask you something. Let's zoom out a little bit and get some industry insights. And maybe, Jan, you can jump in as well. From a macro perspective, how does the marketing technology industry look like from a global and an ASEAN scale?
Global scale-wise, it's quite different from different, say, region, maybe continent, right? So, especially on digital marketing, it has been very sophisticated in advanced country. But when it comes to ASEAN country, it is often, if you talk about places like Singapore, maybe Asia, like Hong Kong, all these are quite sophisticated. But when it comes to ASEAN country by itself, there are still a lot of education needed. So a lot of things that we probably were to suggest may not be visualized by the business owner, or maybe like you say the board, right? They cannot visualize why I need to spend this much of money. I need to implement this tech in order to achieve this. So there are a lot of education that need to be done in order to get them through what needs to be done. So often what happens is that we'll probably start something small with them, just a proof of concept, let them experience the outcome. If it's good, then usually we'll go on with something even bigger. But some of the NMC clients, the big corporates, they already have their own analytics team. So they already have their own marketing team that is to some extent quite advanced. So for that, it's easier for us to work with them because they already know the language. We already know what to suggest them, and they understand the concept and all these things. So I would say the range is quite far. It's either they are advanced or they are not very advanced. Yeah.
One of the things from a macro perspective, ASEAN e-commerce growth rates are basically leading the world. If we look at even a country like Malaysia, which is not the highest, e-commerce growth rate is 87% in 2020 growth year on year. And we're talking about a global industry that's 121 billion in terms of MarTech. So you're talking about a very large industry. Gentlemen, where are you all seeing the adoption, especially after COVID-19?
It's a very interesting state that we are in, to be honest, and I'm glad you asked this question, really, because from a macro perspective, especially when you bring in e-commerce as a conversation point, there's actually a huge economy driving behind it, and we actually call it the homebody economy. Okay,
and that's a new one, homebody economy. Okay.
Yeah, the homebody economy is very interesting because this entire topic about homebody economy is literally talking about all of us at home in different countries, and all of us are going through the same thing. We are in lockdowns. Now, here's the thing. Everybody sees it from that perspective, right? We are just in a lockdown. Okay, we're stuck at home, blah, blah, blah. But many people actually also see this as an opportunity that, look, how often do you have this situation where all generations lock into the same house? How do you reach them as an e-commerce merchant? How do you market to 5 different people from 5 different generations, 3 different generations at home? How do you start personalizing using electronic items like your TV, like a refrigerator, certain common displays that you have at your home, shared desktops? How are you able to maintain that kind of engagement? It has always been a challenge. That is the reason why over the past 1.5 years as well, the purchase or spending on smart electronics are also seen to be increasing. And marketers love that because prior to this, it was impossible to reach the homes. It's like all the advertising, all the marketing, right? It's all out of home because you're always outside.
Yeah.
The moment you come home, it's like a black box where you can't reach. But now the home body economy is slowly opening up. And that makes things a lot more exciting and also contributes to the e-commerce growth that we're talking about.
In fact, so the funny thing is, gentlemen, that's the whole reason for being for Biztech, because we realized people were going to be more digitally focused and at home. So that's why we started the business in the first place. But of your three markets, where have you seen the, you're in Malaysia, you're in Singapore, you're in Hong Kong. Malaysia is your biggest market, but in terms of growth, where have you seen the biggest growth in the last 12 months?
Wow, I think one of the biggest growth areas has to be Hong Kong, to be honest. I mean, even for us being in a business, we are actually caught by surprise because knowing Hong Kong's recent years of history, they have gone through quite a tough patch, right? Political wise, and then after that with COVID, prior to that, they have the rioting that was happening. It was literally back to back, so many things happening, and we half expecting that Hong Kong's office may not be able to last through these turbulent times, but it did. In fact, it surpasses Malaysia in certain aspects of category of clients that we serve, particularly in the finance and crypto industry. So the Hong Kong office actually specializes in crypto marketing advisory, whereby we service quite a number of crypto technology companies in positioning their tech to the audience they're looking to. So it could be B2B, it could be B2C, but we are the guys behind the scenes that basically put these plans for them so they'll know how to communicate, what channels to use, how to monitor the responses, so on and so forth.
And what's next for OpenMinds? You're 30 plus strong company in 3 markets. What's next? And you've grown organically. There's no funding, right?
Yes, we grew organically, painstakingly. I prefer that word sometimes. Over the past 9 years, really, without funding, without external support. In fact, we started a company based on a client project. So we literally took that check, put it to the bank account, and yeah, that's OpenMinds, right? That's our starting point. But moving forward, we are going to really go too big in 2 areas. One of it very surely is going to be the education scene through Open Academy, which is why we launched the Open Academy app, which I think we only launched this a couple of months ago, and we've already achieved more than 20,000 downloads, really giving micro-learning experiences to the audience. So you don't sit through like a 1-hour course. In fact, you can learn something in just 5 minutes. So that's a USP, and that's something we are really trying to push forward. The second area is the whole topic of data integration. We realized that in this past 1.5 years, really, we see a lot of companies coming to us saying that they have a lot of data, they don't know what to do with it, and they're sitting on gold mine. What can I do? And we are really hoping that data will pave the way forward for OpenMinds.
Now, final question. Both of you have run business for 9 years. What are the lessons that you've learned in your entrepreneurial journeys that you'd like to share with other business owners? And I want to start with you, Jeffrey.
Okay, perhaps tips, right? Businesses usually wanted to develop system or apps for their new business idea or even to improve the operation. But often they have very limited budget and they want the system to be, fully automated and yet has to be perfect. Well, for me, it's through the experience. Don't be afraid to develop something small or basic as a start, because the 80-20 rules are pretty real over here. Usually the first 80% of the core functions of the system only cost 20% of the total bill. And the last 20% of the development for all the advanced features, all the automation, AI is going to cost 80% of the total bill. So why not get something out fast, get it tested, get it validated, gain all the user feedback, and to plan for next priority instead. Yeah.
You, Jen?
Sure. I think I'll just keep it short. I will say that don't fall too deeply in love into your business. I think after 9 years, and this is not one of my first ventures as well, I've been in multiple business prior to this, what I realized that sometimes if you hold too hard onto your business, that may restrict business growth. Some people will see that as perseverance. To some extent, that's true, but I also say that it's very dangerous because that may restrict your ability to pivot. That may restrict your ability to take on new business ideas. That could also restrict your abilities to take on new opportunities to scale. So yes, you need to love what you do, but not necessarily fall so deeply in love with your business that you refuse to move.
Now, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure speaking to both of you.
Pleasure is ours.
Now, I'm Brian
you,
Fernandez,
Brian.
and I've been speaking to Jan Wong and Jeffrey of OpenMinds on Biztech's Enterprise Technology Show. This video will be on our Facebook and LinkedIn sites, as well as our website, www.biztech.asia. Please like and subscribe to our various platforms. Thank you very much for tuning in.